Yo, 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 Gen Nation, what is up? ScytheX here with another video, another reaction, and we got something special for you today. It is Comedy Wednesday. We got a new comedian, not a new comedian per se, but new to the channel. This was a recommendation, and I figured why not? Let's just get into someone else and give George Carlin a rest and everybody else. And we'll start shuffling comedians in and out as we go on. But today we have Daniel Tosh, and it was recommended to kind of go through his what was it called? People Pleaser, the People Pleaser stand-up special he did. So this one is called White. Don't really know what it's about. I know Tosh from his show on MTV that he did, and a couple of his early stand-ups. I don't know if this is one of those early ones or if this is more recent, but I kind of stopped following him. Tosh.o show was kind of the same as like Ridiculousness and all those things. Just, I don't know, just one of those things you kind of fall off of. But with that being said, we have Tosh.o in the building, so let's get into it. People Pleaser, this is White, and let's go.
Believe it or not, that gets old. It is great to be here in America. Yeah. The greatest country in the world, if you haven't traveled a lot.
If you haven't traveled.
Do we have to constantly scream we're number one? It's always the people that live in the most boring parts of this country that scream the loudest. People in Kansas, we're the greatest country in the world. It's like, do you guys have internet there? You ever seen a photo of Fiji? I've never been to Fiji, but I've seen photos. It looks pretty amazing. It's hard to think we're better than that. We're top 10. Maybe if we started screaming that every day, maybe terrorists would stop trying to saw our heads off. We're top 10. And they'd be like, that's fair.
That's fair.
It was that number one stuff that was getting old. America's basically turned into one of these factories where we just have a sign up, like, it's been 22 days since our last horrible thing. And it's like, oh, all right, rip it down. We're back at zero again. These things just keep happening. You know, whether it's Ferguson or Baltimore.
Unfortunately, that is very true. Things just keep happening.
I can solve racist cops. That's an easy fix. But nobody comes to me for the answers. You want to get rid of that forever? How about this? Only black people should be allowed to be cops. Boom, problem solved. And if any of you have issue with this, it's because you're racist. Well, what about white people? White people can be firefighters. We're more outdoorsy, it makes sense. White people, firefighters, black people, cops. Who wants tickets to the softball game now? Yeah, it's gonna get pretty tense. Might want to put in a mercy rule. And the next time we have one of these tragedies, inevitably we will, and you happen to be so unfortunate enough to know the person that's being accused of the crime, do us all a favor and don't get on TV the next day and be like, I lived next to him for 32 years. I never could have seen this coming. Maybe you should be locked up for 6 months. I find nothing more disrespectful. You never could have seen it coming. I've never met anyone in my entire life that I couldn't wrap my brain around the fact that they are capable of awful things. Literally no one. My mom could blow up a nursery. And if you put me on TV the next day and I was completely honest with myself, I'd be like, I can fucking see it. No, it makes sense. Sometimes when I was a kid, I'd come home from school, she wasn't happy to see me. I think she hates children. Ladies, know that every man you're sitting next to tonight, if you could get into their head and see every thought they have ever had, you would immediately pull out a gun and blow your head off. Because trust me, they're capable of anything. All day long, every day, nothing but twisted, weird, awful shit is just going round and round and round. And what do you do at night? You snuggle up next to them because you're so happy that you're not alone. And I think that says more about you. That notion that your parents raised you on, stand by your man, if you're insane. The second your man gets accused of anything, you immediately distance yourself. Just be like, I don't know what the fuck he's into. Buy clothes in the next town, we'll forgive you. By the way, I do love this country. We're the only place with any diversity. The entire planet's segregated. You realize that when you watch international sports. Like I was trying to watch the World Cup, despite hating it. I get it.
Shout out to the World Cup. I don't know how recent this is, but it's kind of funny.
Soccer is the most popular sport on the planet. That's because half the world can't afford AC. And that's about how long you have to run just to get tired enough to fall asleep in these godforsaken countries. You ever try to gamble on soccer? What's the over-under? 0.5?
Yeah.
How much
and then you
time's
lose
left?
because it's a
secret.
0-0
I'm
tie.
out. But we have diversity other teams don't. Or if you look at the Olympics, you look at our U.S. gymnastics squad. We have an Asian girl, a white girl, a black girl. Look at the Chinese squad. Any guesses? Did you guess exclusively Chinese bitches? Yeah, that's all that's ever been on that team. That's all that will ever be on that team. Then they wonder why they're not getting golds anymore. Well, you better get a Harlem in China.
Harlem in China.
You think snapping together iPads all day is tough? It is not as tough as it used to be. Now they have suicide nets around their building so they can jump out, bounce right back. Sorry, boss, just need some fresh air. Back to making Americans more stuff? You got it.
Isn't that true? Do they have nets around the building for people jumping out? Is that true?
This is a
Let me know in
tough
the
joke to
comments.
do as a white comedian, but here goes.
Here goes.
Because where this country is now, from where we came from, is pretty remarkable. There's nothing more shameful in our country's past than slavery. Okay, that's horrible. But I've grown up in a generation where I've idolized black people my entire life. They are better at everything. So the fact that we pulled off slavery, I've already said it's awful. That's off the table. I'm just saying it's kind of neat. I mean, at any point, they could have been like, you know we can just run away, right? And you will never catch us. And if you do, we will beat the living shit out of you. All right.
All
That's
valid.
about how well that joke should go over. There's a fine line between appreciating the sarcasm and, ooh, this feels like a rally.
Oh my God.
And you did well.
You did well.
That's a joke I do not do everywhere. That's a joke if the audience gets a little too excited, I shut it down. You start hearing a couple yee-haws, trouble's a brewing.
Yeah.
As soon as
A couple
yee-haw
yee-haw.
hits a certain octave, hate crime and T minus 10, 9. The unemployment rate in our country is around 6.
Well, I guess that was it. It's just gonna keep rolling on. That was Daniel Tosh, people pleaser, white. Dude, that was funny. And there's a ton of clips from this people pleaser. So we'll just start sprinkling in Daniel Tosh and get through this. So I appreciate that recommendation. That was funny, man. We do have the most diverse team in the Olympics and World Cup and all that stuff, so it's kind of interesting. He has valid points in some parts, but what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Is there more Tosh you want me to do, more Jim Jeffries or whoever? Throw the recommendation in the comments. If you have a link to the YouTube clip, feel free to post it. And Gen Nation, thank you, appreciate that. That'll wrap up Comedy Wednesday, and we'll be back at it next week. So appreciate you.